Yeah, good afternoon and good evening, Brockton. This is Stephen and Cecilia's TV show. The name Cecilia was named after my late grandmother, so it's in honor of her. Today I'm with one of the uh, few of the people that were running for the city council, and today we're talking just about what they did on the campaign trail and how they felt that they did, and see where their opinions lie as far as the gay voters. So, welcome, you too. Um, just, just out of the blue, what did you think of the outreach of the people, and what did you think of all around all of the meetings that we've had and we went to, and what did you think of the pouring of the outpouring the support of the Brockton residents?
You want to go
Yeah, ladies
first?
first.
Ladies
Yeah,
first.
ladies first. Okay. Um, well, on my journey, I met some wonderful people, Brocktonians. Um, I spoke to a variety of people, from people who work in the school, because I ran for Ward 4 School Committee,
Right.
and I talked to students, I talked to families, I spent a lot of times. And to me, I discovered something, that people there's a lot of people with issues, right? Problems. Could be the streets, could be the lights, could be in the classroom,
Or it could be at home.
it could be at home. I heard all of it, not just as a school committee. So I'm like, wow, our city really has a need. And how do we get resources to these people? How do we help some of them?
Well, I
so
know a lot of the kids. I know a lot of the kids are underprivileged. A lot of the kids don't probably have the support of their parents. Because when I was growing up, I went to the George Payne School, and the teachers they would reach out to the parents and say, "Look, Steve's struggling as far as hearing us, as far as following directions, or maybe he don't understand. Is there a way we could tutor him 3 hours a day at home, or bring him into the school and get tutor him with with the parents get there, so the parents understand what where they need the help." I know a lot of the parents don't speak English, so it's very difficult for teachers to relate to other parents. Um, and in my journey, being a newbie and not knowing nothing about politics, nothing at all, cut my throat, threw my head into the ring. I found that I couldn't relate to half the kids, because when I was growing up, I had the supports. I had the supports of the teachers. I had the supports of the principal. I had the supports of my parents. And seeing these kids today not having any of the supports of their parents, or the teachers, they may be trying to help them, but it's the parents more likely that don't understand what's going on in the school systems today than were back in our days.
Yeah, I think some of that is true. I mean, obviously times change. You know, it is obviously it's different than when you and I were growing up, Maria growing up. Um, a lot of it, I feel personally. I mean, I ran for Ward 3 School Committee. I walked every street. I knocked on every possible door. And whether it was a 2-minute conversation or a 45-minute conversation, I gave as much time to any individual
Right.
as they wanted,
Yeah.
and listened to their problems, or listen not only problems but the good, the bad, the indifferent,
Or their problems.
their
Yeah.
journey, their
Yeah.
students'
Or
journey,
they're
their
throwing out
families,
ideas, or
their
they're throwing out ideas if you people
Right.
to implement in the school system.
their
Yeah.
family's journey. And I think we're at a time now. I mean, computers, technology is constantly advancing. But we're what, 6 or 7 years into the every child having a computer.
Right.
You know, that makes a huge difference, I think, because not only are the teachers getting used to every child having a computer, the children are, now every child has a computer. So it's a different style of learning as well. And, we could look back at this conversation we're having here tonight and say, 10, 15 years,
Was it
and
worth
it might be totally different. Everything could be perfect by then because there'll have been some, time lapse in this new age of education, I'd say.
Well, I know by watching TV, you once a year, or maybe twice a year, Comcast picks a certain amount of people to give your laptops to and give them free internet service for a year. Someone whose parents have worked their tails off and they can't afford a laptop or they can't afford internet for the kids. I know Xfinity, it does that.
Yeah.
Why couldn't the schools reach out to Xfinity and say, look, we have a bunch of your students who are underprivileged, whose parents don't have the means or the capability of getting the internet in the house because they're working too much and they can't afford it. Why not have the school committee reach out to Xfinity and see if they can work like once a year, twice a year, that they give a scholarship for free internet,
Well,
free.
we did see that. We when COVID hit and it became a 1-to-1. Every child had a computer and everybody was learning at home. We did have that. And it still, if there's a family in need that doesn't have internet service, there are different programs and things
Yeah,
where
there
they
is.
can get
There's
it.
called, I think, Comcast Essential. There's Lifeline, I believe is what they call
Yeah.
it, that they can apply to. You know how they have the track phones?
Yeah.
Either you get a track phone, it's paid already through
Yeah,
SafeLink or Assurance.
Yeah.
So either that or the internet is discounted, like, I don't know, $9.99 or something like that. Most people have that because most kids have free lunch,
Right.
so they're eligible. Or if you have Mass Health, you're eligible. Or if you have low income, you're eligible for that. So the kids have that. And I can understand having a computer at home versus the one you take from the school to the home,
Right.
to have one at home. So that's something that I think that we can work on as a community. That if
that's-
everybody chips in, you pick a certain amount of students that's in need, and we can do that, I believe. Because I know that to go through the school committee and the school and all that stuff, that takes time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and the schools, what they do is they loan it, and there's a contract you sign. If you break it, if something happens, you have to pay for it.
Right.
You know,
Be-
but there's a lot of need in our community.
Yeah, because I have at home, I have a home-based one. I have the old tower.
The tower, yeah.
And I've been trying to get a hold of the gentleman across the street over at where they get the barber shop. There's a computer.
CompuMath, I think,
Yeah.
something like that, yeah.
And the guy hasn't been around because I need Windows 11 put in because I got Windows 7 Premium and I can't access nothing on my emails. I had to switch it all over to my phone.
Yeah.
And I also want to keep. I wanted to keep my shows in order
Yep.
on a laptop, where I could just have one side, like a notepad of all the shows you're doing,
Yep.
and then keep one side for all of my doctor's appointments
Yeah.
with my regular doctors,
Yeah, a spreadsheet.
follow up.
Yeah.
But I can't seem to find a place that has free laptops. I went to the job agency down in the back of me to get CareerWorks, and
Yeah.
that they gave away their computers during COVID. Now they're no longer got that program.
Yeah.
I tried to reach out to self-help, and self-help don't even know what the heck I'm talking about. I reached out to the mayor's office. The mayor's office is like, they're flabbergasted because they've never heard of free computers.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, you know, computers, the cost and all that stuff. You know, I'd be surprised though if you know, your doctor's office might be able to prepare a spreadsheet for you for, you know, appointments or medications or things like that. And as far as your programs here, you know, I don't know, maybe if somebody at the Council on Aging might be able to help.
I already
or-
tried them.
or
They
something
said
along those
they told
lines.
me to go through CareerWorks, and I went through CareerWorks,
Yeah.
and CareerWorks said that they used to have free ones that they gave out during the COVID pandemic, but that
Well-
but that ended.
Well, look, we're on BCA, right?
Yeah.
So there's people watching us.
Right.
So if anybody out there has a computer, it could be used, good computer, that can have a good amount of storage, or if there's a computer person out there that has anything laying around, Steve, our dear friend, could use it. So just reach out. What's your number?
My cell phone number is 508-933-7961. I do have an old base one at home that's got Windows 7 Premium, and I'm having a hard time getting Windows 11. So if you have a system at home that's got Windows 10 or a Windows 11 that you're using it, just you can give me a call, and we'll work something out. And just, you know, I'm just an old-fashioned guy. Don't like change, but now I got to get with it because these two beautiful people helped me out when I was running for city councilor at Lodge. Yeah, they were my backbone, and now I am their backbone for the next time they run. Yeah, they can count on me to be there for them and help them out. So right now they're asking for your help to help me out, who never really ask for any help from anybody. I'm one of those don't want to ask, don't.
No.
If it's not broke, don't fix it type
Yeah,
deal.
but, you know,
we're
that's-
not afraid to ask because we need each other. This is
Right.
a
That's
right.
community, right?
Right.
So needs sometimes are good because it brings people together. So
Absolutely.
don't ever be afraid to ask. I'm not afraid to ask.
Well, my father, my stepfather would never ask for any help.
Yeah, but
And
we're
it kind of
yeah.
instilled in me the same thing.
Yeah, but we're in
So-
a different
Different,
time
it's
now.
different.
You know, like I said,
They're good people. There's good people, wonderful people.
talked to hundreds, you know, probably a couple thousand people over the last few months, and the stories that you hear about neighbors helping neighbors,
Yeah.
lifting
Yes.
each other up.
Yeah.
That's what the city's really about.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
know,
lived-
that's what we're all here for.
Growing up, I lived on the backside of Olders Street. You're not the side where Stella's is,
Yep.
but on the tail end. And my mother and father had a 3-family house. Yeah, we lived on the first floor. Grandma lived up on the second, and we had a lovely couple. They were Jehovah Witnesses, but they were the sweetest couple. They were elderly. they would watch me when Grandma he went to work and Dad and Mom went to work, and it was amazing how they had knowledge of things that I didn't even know about.
Yeah.
There were no computers. There were um, the old phones that had the antenna, the long ones that where the antenna pulled out,
Yep.
and you had the push dial.
No, I still have a rotary one
Or
in
the
my house.
rotary one.
Oh.
I still have one.
Yeah, my parents had one in the house that you used to take the headpiece off. It was round, put it up, get your
Yeah.
thing, crank the thing,
Oh, yes.
and ask the operator to
Yeah.
get connected to whatever, a
Certain
number.
exchange, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's all computerized
Yeah.
and push this button for this, push this button for that. I'm like, I want to talk to a human. I don't want to talk to a system.
Well, I think that's something to be said too about education. When we're sitting here, we're talking about every child having a computer and instant access to almost any information out there.
Right.
But in a way, when you look at it, yes, it's a good thing. But we got away from paper,
Yeah.
paper and pencil. If something were to happen and the network goes down,
Right.
we live in a different world now. I don't want to say warfare or terrorism, but
Yeah.
you got to think of that cyber aspect of it. That if there were to be an attack, it could be on the grid, on
Right.
the take down the towers or something like that. Technically,
Yeah.
and what would happen? And you've seen it happen in a few places, hospitals where they
hack them.
ransom,
Yeah.
they get control of the
Ransomware.
system,
And
and
they-
they ransom it back to them.
Yeah.
If something like that were to happen in our schools, what would they do? Because so many of our kids have been on the computers nonstop
Right.
these past, several years. Nothing beats a number 2 pencil on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
You can get out there. I mean, we are, unfortunately, and I've heard the stories talking to people,
Do you
and I've
see-
met the children that don't know how to write their own name, sign their own name. So we kind of have to get back to some of that stuff too.
Yeah.
We need a good balance.
I think a little bit of both would work. I know back in my day when you were on school break and there was like a summer camp, there was a place called Camp Yakawani.
Giovanni.
And my mother used to send me there. But during that time frame, the teachers would say, write an essay about your summer vacation. Well, I can't read or write, so how am I going to do this? So I had someone that could read and write, and they helped me out. And I explained to the teacher when we got back from camp and all that, in school break, I'm like, look, I can't read or write, so why did you ask me? Well, we figured you could learn how to do this. You can write a letter to a person, right? I said, yeah, if I'm writing it to you and I know what I'm saying, I can read it back. Well, do the same thing. Today, I spent the day doing archery. Went fishing with a few of the kids. We took a school bus to get community access to see the studios. All right, well, how do you spell studio? You're going to have someone here helping me, folks,
Right.
And today, I know illiteracy is a big thing
Yeah.
in the world. Half the kids can't read, half the kids can't write. But whose fault is that? Is it the parents' fault, or is it the students' fault, or is it the teachers?
I think there's
Or is it all three?
I think there's enough blame to go around. I encourage everyone to go on, not necessarily the Brockton Public Schools page. I mean, that isn't, you can go on there and look at it, but also go on the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's page and look at our report card. You know, of course, every community wants to say, hey, we're doing a great job.
Right.
We're doing the best we can. We're moving forward.
Right.
You know, they announced, I don't know, probably 2 months ago that I believe it was the suspension rate had gone down, was it 47%? Somewhere along those lines.
Yeah.
And when asked how we're getting such an outcome, such a drastic, that's a big percentage. We're not
Yeah,
talking
it is.
3%,
It is.
4%. We're talking, 37 or 47%. If there's that big of a decrease in the suspension rate for over 1 year, what plans were put in place? What policies made that, help that happen, help that along? Or is it one of those cases where we just stopped enforcing rules, stopped, holding people accountable, and obviously when you do that, obviously the suspension rate is going to fall.
Right.
It's like, the city can come out and say, oh, violent crime is down 97%. Well, yeah, but then they forgot to tell you that it's, 97% on Tuesday mornings between
Yeah.
5:06 and 5:09 a.m.
Right.
Right. There are ways to fudge things. But when you go and look at the DESE website and the report card for our city, for our public schools, it's kind of eye-opening. And I don't want to I'm not going to put blame on parents, teachers. Everybody is trying, I think, as hard as they can.
Yeah.
But I think, again, and I've said this a lot, I've used this word probably more in the last 4 months than I've ever used in my life, but
I probably heard you.
communication.
I heard you say that at every
Comes
single event.
down to communication.
Yeah.
Communication between teachers, between parents, between the children,
Right.
every aspect of it. Because if we're not talking to each other, if we're not talking about the good and the bad, we miss out on a lot.
Right.
And that's how too many students slip through the cracks.
Oh, yeah.
Because we all do. We want to pat ourselves on the back and say, hey, look at this. We're doing a great job with X, Y, or Z.
Right.
But we have to show, it's like, you do a math problem. In the old days, you did a math problem and the teacher would always say, okay, you have to show your work. You couldn't just, get a problem and just write the answer.
Right.
You had to show your work so the teacher knew that you knew the process,
Right.
that you knew how you got to the answer. Because nowadays you could just, go on your phone and say, put in the problem and it spits out the answer
Yeah,
for you.
yeah.
You can just write the answer. No, you have to show your work. So I think we need a lot more of that, showing the work, showing how we got positive outcomes, whether the policies are working and that's how we got the positive outcomes,
Right.
or is it a PR campaign to show that we're doing good? 'Cause
Well,
we were at rock bottom.
Well, I noticed in the past from, I don't want to say it because he's gone, but from Bill Carpenter
Yep.
to Linda Belzati to our mayor, Gid now, and to our future mayor, which is going to be Rod Rodriguez. Every mayor says, we got the children's fate in our hands. Our children are the important parts of our lives. Well, what are the mayors doing about it? The mayors should be going into the schools and going and checking on each of the curriculums, see where they're having struggles. Take a look, pull a student aside and say, what do you think that you need better? What are the better tools that we can give you guys? They should be talking, the mayors and the school councils should be talking to the students, because the students know what they need. If I had that growing up, if I had someone say, Steve, where do you see your problem? Well, my problem is gay reading, and my problem's gay math. Could you help me get the curriculum up as far as, because I'm illiterate. When I write, when I do a letter, I don't go this way, I go backwards. I should be going this way, but when I fill these things out, these certificates, I go from this way. I don't go from that way. So a lot of kids have that problem of where they read and they write, but they write to left. Some of them read left to right, and some of them can't read at all.
Yeah.
Hey Steve, this is the half-minute mark, just so you know.
All right, thank you. And it's kind of funny because I see it a lot. I see some of my friends have kids and they're like, Steve, our kids are doing things backwards. They're not going left to right, they're going right to left. I'm like, well, who taught them that? So it's the curriculum in the schools and it's the teachers that should take more time to go to the parents' home, go spend time with the kid and help them out, like they did when we were growing up.
But I think some of it also, I mean, we got to think also that, and I know, you mentioned the mayors. I know every one of those people that you were talking
They
about.
were great mayors too.
They're great, and I know that they care about our children.
Right.
I know that they did, they do,
Right.
and they will continue to. It's tough for a mayor, I think. You get elected mayor, you're the mayor of the city.
Right.
And you put your faith in people around you to tell you the truth, whether it be the superintendent of schools, because all those people will kind of report to the mayor.
Right.
You're the big,
Absolutely.
you got the big chair. You put the people that you have faith in to run, and the school committee puts faith in the superintendent,
Yeah.
whether it's public works, or, whatever department.
Oh, I
it
know,
is.
I know. Right, right.
So you have to have good people that are going to be honest with you.
I'm not saying that
Good.
the mayors are bad.
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
no, no, I know
saying-
you're not. I know
I'm
you're
just saying
not.
Yeah.
that
I know
they
you're not
should
saying
be-
that.
Yeah, that they should be able to go into a school like
To say hello,
Right.
to give some morale
Yeah.
to the crowd and everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes, I've heard
Exactly.
that. I've heard that too on my door knocking.
See, you get to that, and
Yeah.
here we do. I think we do have, and this is something that I know I've heard it. I'm sure Maria has too. I think we've had conversations
and
about
I think
it.
I've heard it in
Is
my campaign.
You look at, say, the paraprofessionals right now, the teachers and the paraprofessionals. Right now, the paraprofessionals are, in mediation about their contract, and those paraprofessionals are really right on the front lines, right along those teachers.
Oh yeah.
They
definitely.
see, I come from the after school world. I ran after school programs and would get those children after school in those hours right when they're getting out of school. And I would make sure I was outside every day to greet every one of them as they were getting off the bus.
Yeah.
And you could tell in the faces, the ones that had a bad day at school or something was going on in their life.
Yeah.
So I would make a point to always talk to the parent, guardian, the grandparent, whoever was picking them up that night.
Right. To find out
And
what's
say,
going
hey,
on.
Billy looked like he was a little off today. Just checking in, make sure everything's okay at school. He said everything was okay, but double check with him at home, things like that. And I know in my own case, my student, he had a really tough journey in elementary school. And, you have a teacher with 30 plus kids in a classroom, but the paraprofessional is there and they get a little more time with each kid.
Yeah.
And they get that, Dominic's off today.
Right.
And they're the ones sending that message at pickup saying, hey, everything okay? Something going on?
Right.
And we all have to pay better attention to those kind of things.
Absolutely.
We have to listen to everyone.
That's
and I think
why-
in some cases with teachers, paraprofessionals, there's, I don't want to say across the board, but in some cases there is a culture of fear that if they speak up too loudly,
They're gonna-
retribution.
Yeah.
You know, because like goes back to my earlier point where we want all the numbers to look good. Everything has to look good for the state, and you know, so we get the funding, and everybody's doing a great job. It's okay to say, hey, we need some help.
Yeah.
Nobody
No.
should be afraid to say that.
Now, like,
Adults, kids.
now, like, I know there's a problem now with bullying in school. Kids bullying other ones, and then the fights at the high school, after school, or during, before school. Is it still under a debate if they're bringing in the National Guard? Or is that something that's been swept underneath the rug and totally forgotten about?
It's not forgotten about, but it's been swept. They're not coming, and it's not for something that you forget. But not only did they put fear into the students, but they also raised fear amongst the parents, because as a parent, I was like, oh my gosh, my son is not going to Brockton High. Are you kidding me? You know? But the thing is, the school board is supposed to include the community when they start making decisions like this.
Right, right.
And so the school board is doing their own thing, how they feel, and they're not including people in that decision making. For example, parents, maybe the superintendent, but even some of these teachers, they tell me, Maria, nobody asked us. They just tell us what to do and we do it.
Right.
Their input doesn't matter. So that means they're not being valued. When you don't listen to people,
And you don't listen to
you're
your
not valuing
students.
them, and you're not listening to the parents, you're not listening to the students, and you're going to call National Guard for a handful of kids. Well, what does your policy say when you have a handful of kids that are doing what they're doing? Oh, we had no choice, they wasn't listening, this and this and that. Something is going on.
At home.
And you have to get to the bottom of it.
And it's probably at
Right.
home.
So if maybe the policy needs to be changed.
Right.
Something needs to be done. But I believe, like, you know, I think if the board, I lost by 102, I think 102, 100 and something, and that's it. So
In the campaign I ran, I got 553 votes. And
yeah, you did.
Before my first time out, I'll tell
Yeah.
you, I did damn good. And it's because of people like you two that had my back.
Yeah.
You guys were always, anything I can do, Steve, what can I do? Like when they had the breakfast.
Yes,
And
yes,
I
yes.
got there and I found out I had to pay the $40.
Yeah.
I didn't have it, but two of the candidates,
Yes, they took care of it.
they
yeah.
took care of
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
which was very
And that's
nice.
what it's about. That's what it's about.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't expect people to help me. I'm just another one in the mix of thousands of candidates for councilor at large. And I was just surprised I made it as far as I did, without any help.
Yeah.
With people like you helping me, and with the few times we were in the debates and we were at the unknown school and we were here and we were there, one of the ladies who helped out here, Ann, the one that was there, she came back and gave them a raving review. Mr. Clay did awesome.
He
He
did.
couldn't have done any better. He was right on mark. And that made me feel good that someone from here ranted and raved about how good I did. I sit outside my building. I got people I don't even know. Mr. Clay, you did a great job, buddy. Did an awesome
Yes,
job. You
yes.
did great in the campaign.
Right.
And when are you going to do it again?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? You should run for mayor next time. Don't even think about council at large. Go for the top dog.
Yeah.
Go for mayor. And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you joking? Go for mayor. You'll be a great mayor because you're old school. You know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Well,
okay.
that's the positivity in the community.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they see you out there. They, you're personable, you care, obviously.
Well,
You
my,
care. I remember meeting you right outside of Brockton Beer.
Yeah.
You were getting your signatures.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember I was I was probably one of the first 10 people to sign your thing.
Yeah,
and I was
really,
glad to.
really.
And that's a great thing about this city. We really do know how to come together as a community. We just don't do it all the time.
Right.
And
Well,
we
do you
need
know
to-
We need,
what?
need to get
right,
on
we
track.
need to work together. Like
You
going
know-
back, excuse me for a second. So going back, right?
Yeah.
Because now I hope that my opponent will consider the other half that voted for me to incorporate, you know, what my vision, what the residents' vision is for the school board into whatever that he is doing
Right.
with his to bring it together, right?
Well, we'll say it
so
like-
that way the board can be better for the students.
Well, we'll say it like this. A few days, last week, I had a phone call. It was from the new counselor at large, Jeff. Steve, how are you on gay food? Do you need anything? I'm
That
like,
was nice.
I'm like, Jeff, yeah, what do you care? Steve, you helped get me out when I needed it. You helped me go around putting things under people's doors and get your building. I want to help you out. Yeah, what do you need? I said, well, I want you to get some weird voices and go to fucking D.C. and take care of this fucking shit with the
We'll edit that.
president. Tell him to stop his fucking baby antics
All right.
and move on and try to get the government open. So he went out, he spent about $40. He got me coffee and
That's
some
nice.
food. He didn't have to, but he did.
Brockton is a great community.
You know?
It really is. I've probably said this 1,000 times too, that Brockton is a wonderfully diverse community.
Yeah.
We're a kind community, but I think sometimes we underutilize it. We don't come together
Oh, we
enough.
get lost in it.
We get to a certain point and then we kind of pull back a little.
Yeah,
But when we come together, we come together. I remember after 9/11.
right.
Okay,
Yes.
so we're going back 24 years ago.
Yeah.
I know it's a long time. But after 9/11, those days after, everybody was checking on each other.
Yeah.
And I think it was that first week, the mayor at the time and the city council had come
hands,
forth with a thing to, a night of solidarity where people, put a candle on their
Yeah.
porch.
Yeah,
And I'll never forget, I was living on Battle Street up at the time, and every house, every person
had one.
was out.
I remember it. I was out in
And-
the sidewalk with a candle.
And there's no reason why we can't act like that now. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't need a tragedy to come together. We don't need
Right.
adversity to come together.
Right.
Yeah.
We just need to come together.
Well,
That's all.
I'm going to say it like this. To the mayor now, Sullivan, you got a short period of your time to fix a lot of the problems in Brockton. I would suggest, you start with listening to the students of all the high schools and colleges here in Brockton, and go ask them what they need and figure out a solution. And to the new mayor that's coming up, we hope and pray you do better than the mayors past and present. I'm not putting anyone down, but there needs to be a lot more changes in Brockton. The mayors need to be better outreach with the students and the parents and the communities. It's not just about Veterans Day parades. It's not about Christmas Day parades. It's not about Thanksgiving days. Once a year, you should be out there every single day asking the communities what each of us need. We got so many wards. We got Ward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got the city get counselors. We got the counselors at your lodges. We got the school committees. Ask them, ask them where we need things get fixed. Get it fixed. Brockton could get better that way, but some of you, your counselors at your lodges, I hate to say it, right now, I think you're in the mayor's pocket, and it shouldn't be that way. You guys are for the people, not the people for you. So think about that. Think about what we just said here tonight. We need everyone to pull together as a community in a city that's built on the city of champions. Let's act as a city of champions. Let's get our thumbs out of our butts and move on and get things done in the schools. And as students, you got to speak up. We don't know what you're talking about unless you tell us. So, these two here have stated what they did. They're there for you, but you need to tell us what is going on. And at that point, let's just say, let's have a great holiday tomorrow. Before we sign off, I got a little thing I do. This is just my way. I need a pen.
Want me to get one for you? I think I have one in my purse. Yeah.
In the meantime, I want to say that, yeah, you're right. I think people need to, if they have problems, reach out to your city council, reach out to your school committee member, reach out to the mayor's office. Because I think that they do care. People, you have to reach out to them. And if you make a phone call, if you send an email, keep a document of it. Keep a documentation of it. That, on Monday at 6:45, I reached out to my city councilor, my school committee member, the mayor's office, whatever it may be, and keep documentation of it. And if you don't hear back, then move forward with it and make a little more noise. I've reached out to city councilor, I've reached out to the mayor's office, and I will say I've always gotten a response.
I think having ward meetings, not just not with just the ward counselor, but I also think with the school committee,
Definitely.
would be somewhere to start. That would be somewhere, because then if the board makes student outcome the center of their work, students, they will achieve.
Yes.
They will achieve their goals, their grades will go up, and like I said, you fund the strategic goal, based on that. You align the budget with the strategic goal. Excuse me, I'm just trying to put this on here. Thank you. And that's it. It starts with the kids. Starts with the kids.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely. But see, I see it as everyone's afraid to come to their school committee reps, to their ward counselors, and they tell them what's going on. They figure they already know, so why they bring it up? And as I said, when I was running for the city council at the lodge, I was there for the students. I wasn't caring about getting into office. I'm there for the people.
Yeah.
And for the people, by the people. And I was looking for after-school jobs for kids when they're on school break, instead of saying, "Mommy, can you buy me a $500 PlayStation?" No, you go earn it.
Yeah.
Something to make them bring home a check
a
and say,
different world.
"Mom, here, you helped me out all in my life. Here's just something to help out with the bills."
Mm-hmm.
To be responsible. I see half these kids today, they want take, take, take. They don't want to give.
It's a different world. You know,
Yeah.
we do. We have to show them, you know, it's with a lot of things. You know, everybody's got a phone. Everybody has all this information right at their fingertips. But, and again, I say it with like, I worked for the newspaper, the Boston Globe for years.
Right.
You know, on the business side, not on the news side. And even locally, my grandmother worked at the Enterprise, and she was a proofreader. And one of the things back then was a reporter could work on a story for weeks, months sometimes. Sometimes the story wouldn't even make it into the paper. But now with Facebook and all this social media crap, you only have to be right for 10 seconds. You can put anything you can type anything you want and press that button. It goes out to the world. It could be totally wrong. You don't have to have facts behind it. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to apologize for it either, because 10 seconds later you can put something else out.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's very hard when you see how much things have changed, and I see it each and every day. I sit out front of Gate 106, Gate Main Street, and I watch what's going on. I wonder, like right now, they're doing 4 more episodes of the Walking Dead. Who's getting that money in there? Where's it going? Is it going for the roads? Is it going for sidewalks? Is it going to the schools, or is it just going into, I hate to say it, offshore accounts?
I'll tell you, that's that's a perfect thing to say right now, because this is something I always like to say. That question you just posed. Now, there's a finance committee meeting tonight. There'll probably be a city council meeting next week. And I know BCA is fantastic. They are over there. They play those meetings live. But I go to every one of those meetings. I go to city council, finance. I go to school committee meetings, because if I have a question, I can walk up to my representative and ask it right there. Give them no time to think, you know, like try and craft the answer that they think I want to hear. But not a lot of people do show up. And I know everybody's schedules are busy. I understand that. But I think everybody needs to take a little more effort. And if you can carve out a half hour, 45 minutes to head to a meeting, and you'll see your representative right there. So say you got that question about the Walking Dead money. After a meeting, you grab your representative and say, hey, where's that Walking Dead money going?
Well, you also have to realize, too, it's just not the Walking Dead. We had the movie, They Look Up. Where's all that money? Where's the money from the Detroit riots? Brockton's been used in every single movie ever since Mia Carpenter.
We need more transparency, not
And
just what's there.
that money should have gone to fix schools, education, sidewalks, streets.
I apologize that I can't say right now where it went.
I can't say either.
I've probably looked at it and, you know, heard
Yeah.
about it, where it was going.
Yeah,
I probably
yeah.
should know that. I don't, but I know that, you know, if I ask, I'm sure there is an answer.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
But
but those are the kinds of things we need to do. We need to ask the question.
Like, it seems awful funny that Mia Sullivan can build a multi-million-dollar firehouse and police station at the top of Warren Ave, where the old Brockton High once stood. And when they started breaking ground, they found it all intimidated. How much did that cost us? That's the money from all these from all these movies. Where did it all come?
You're
Where
right.
did it
You
all
are
go?
right. I think, you know, I mean, obviously, I think that's the perfect place, and it's a beautiful building.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
it's
think
gorgeous.
it'll serve the city well. but I think, you know, the architects, the people that came in first, I don't expect the city council or mayor to be up there taking out dirt and checking for the ledge. But you are right, at some respect, the architect or the project managers should have done a little more due diligence on that part of it, because there was quite a bit of ledge and stuff that had to be trucked out.
And dirt had to
Really,
be trucked in.
when you're doing a project like that, you know, you look at like the big dig. You go
Yeah.
back to that, and
Yeah.
that is one of my other fears too. We're in the middle of the feasibility study for the either new, renovated, or just brought up to code high school. We have to watch every step of that, every step of that, because we can't have that project. Yes, it's needed. We need a fully renovated high school.
Right.
And a new one would be great. Money-wise, I don't know if the taxpayers would go for it or could
Right.
handle it. But
But
going
see-
forward, we have to watch every step of that project.
But see,
so it
if
doesn't
we-
go over
but
and
if-
the kids lose out.
But see, if we bring it up at a meeting, like if the citizens go and speak at your meetings, and we bring that up, they kind of like shut us down. They're like, we don't want to talk about it right now. We'll
No,
get
but
back
you
to
can
it
go,
later."
you can show up at those meetings and you can, speak about it. And it just has to be done in a,
In
a
a
respectful
Respectful manner.
manner.
Yeah.
And then you can go again and speak about it as many times as you want. There's nothing that says,
I remember-
you can be a nuisance as long as it's,
Yeah, I don't-
you-
well-
not a nuisance, but you
Yeah,
can
I
go
kn-
as many times as you want, as
Right.
long as it's, respectful. You know what I mean? And eventually you'll get your you'll get your answer. But
And you look at
you can call your city council too. I don't know who it is.
It's now Jeff.
Yeah, you can. There you go.
Yeah.
You see?
Well, he's a counselor at Lodge,
Yeah.
But
So
the-
I'm sure he'll answer those
and-
questions too.
and our city council, it would have been, God love her, she didn't make it in, was Ellie Texera.
Yes.
She was so shy of the votes. It was not funny. We met over at,
Yeah.
we met next door to Gustavus, and she
Yeah,
was waiting on the
Gigi's.
votes. We were watching them, and when she found out she didn't get in, oh my God, the tears. And her
Yeah.
daughter just broke down.
it's tough. You go through a
Yeah.
lot. You know,
Yeah.
you know that.
She's out-
You know
It's
that.
go through a lot. We all go through that. It's
yeah.
just part of
But,
the process,
You know, you got a good city council, Jeff
Yeah.
Thompson. He'll,
Yeah.
you know, you
Yeah.
ask him the question, he'll
Yeah.
get you the answer.
He's the one that
But
helped
you know
me.
what that shows? When you come close and you lose, that should tell the other person, like the opponent, that, hey, you need to carry some of this person's ideas or
Right.
visions, because, it's 50. You have the other part of the community to carry. So you have to carry that. You have to take
And
both.
being as a counselor
Yeah.
at your lodge, you run the whole city.
Yeah.
You run
Represent everybody.
You run every ward. You
That's why we have to
represent
make sure
everybody.
that's why we have to make sure as a community we are involved. We show up if there's something going on in your ward and that you're against or something like that. You have to show up. You have to voice your concern. You have to talk to your city councilor. And more people have to be involved.
Well,
See, we're at the 3-minute mark.
okay, thank you. All right, well, as I said, Brockton, you're looking at us, you three. The fight is not over for us. We're going to be back in the fight again come 2027. But before we go, I got two little things I want to hand out. This one's for you,
Oh.
and this one's for you.
Oh, thank you very
There's
much.
something that I do. That's,
Thank you.
That's my legacy to you guys.
Thank you.
Steve. I appreciate
That's
that.
the way I thank
That's
my
great.
guests.
That means the world right there.
Thank you.
I love that.
So
Maybe a
this is
frame
what,
for that, and
this is what
Yeah.
That'll be up on the wall at home.
that's what I do to
That'll-
every single guest
Definitely.
I get
That's
made, for
fantastic.
sure. All right, Brockton. Well, you heard from 3 people that ran for school council and council at the lodge. The mayors know what we want done. Just hey, you know, just do as we ask. Just get out there and talk to the students, talk to the people in Brockton. We're not hard to find. And if we are, we'll come get you home and kick down your door. so from Stephen and uh, Cecilia's TV show, we say happy Veterans Day, and we all salute you here. Bye bye.
Yes, we do.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.